other video, or the other situation I wanted to talk about was, there's a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine from the Taiwan forums. His name's Captain Stag, and his story's kind of crazy. Him and his good friend Plasmatron, that's also his forum name, they were riding on a mountain road like this, and they had a good, there was a quick stretch of road that leads to like a there was a good straightaway, and then at the bottom, it's kind of downhill I think, and at the bottom of it there was a 90-degree turn to the left, and right after that 90-degree turn there's like a little bridge and then a small town, and it's stupid to go fast through a small town, so they went, the two of them are riding, they were both riding BMW GS's, what is it, 1200 GS I think, and when they got to the, so they went, I guess they were doing about 80 or 100 down the straight, and then they slowed right down to like 50 for the left-hand turn and to go into the town, and then as they're entering the town, Plasmaton, who was in front, hears a screeching of tires behind him and then a loud boom, and he accelerates because he realizes something going on behind him, and he accelerates to get away from it, which is the correct thing to do, and then he looks in his mirror and he sees his friend Captain Stag sliding along the ground. Oh, no. He looks in the mirror and he sees like a car flying at him sideways. And I think he saw Captain Stag's bike and Captain Stag flying along the ground and whatnot. Okay, but long story short, there was a car that was like trying to catch up to them or pass them or something. You get that. You get, guys that just don't like being passed by motorcycles in their piece of shit cars, and then they start riding aggressively to show the bike that cars are actually faster, which is so stupid. Anyways, so the car was trying to catch up to them, and then he lost control of the car on the 90-degree turn, and he actually, his back end slid out, and it hit a telephone pole, which sent his car like spinning and flying down the street, and it took out the bike in the back, which was Captain Stag. And then the car went like flying into someone's house, like 2 blocks down the road, which showed the speed he was doing. He was probably doing about 140 kilometers an hour while they were doing like 50. So they didn't really stand a chance. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is the fact that, I want to stop here, but I'll come back in a second. The interesting part, I got to finish the story. The interesting part is that, well, first of all, the driver of the car, after the accident, he got out and ran away. And then they're like standing around, and then the guy, and then Plasmatron realized, well, actually, you know what, you can read the story yourself, but the things that stand out in the story in my mind as being unfucking-believable is, for one thing, Plasmatron went into a convenience store near the accident to get like a drink or something, and Captain Stag was alright, he was stable, he was responsive, he could move his head around, so he wasn't too worried about his friend. He knew that his friend was going to be okay, and so they'd taken him away to the hospital, and Plasma made the right choice of sticking around to make sure that the police didn't fuck up the crime scene. And then Plasma went into a convenience store, and the convenience store owner, who was probably friends with the guy probably was from that small town, the convenience store owner was telling him, he's like, what are you still doing here? You have to go to the hospital to help your friend. And he's like, don't worry, my friend's stable, he's going to be okay, I just talked to him on my cell phone. He's like, no, you have to go now, and you have to give him whiskey. Only whiskey will help him to get better. Quickly go now to the hospital and give your friend whiskey, but you have to go right now. And now you're thinking to yourself, oh, maybe whiskey is a Chinese remedy or something like that. No. The convenience store owner thought that Plasma would be stupid enough to rush to the hospital, give his friend drink whiskey, so that way when the police checked his friend, he would be over the legal limit, that he would be drunk. The convenience store owner was telling him to quickly go to the hospital, get your friend drunk, and that way he'll be found at fault for getting rear-ended by a car doing 140 while he was doing 50. Isn't that unfucking-believable? That's like small-town trash, and that's not a Taiwanese insult. Small-town trash is like that in any country in the world. So yeah. Anyways, you can go click on link 3 right now to read the full story. Plasma is an exceptionally gifted writer, so it makes for a really interesting read, even though it's a little bit long. So link number 3 is the the drunk ex-con who crashed into the back of a foreigner's bike just a few weeks ago. And I'm going to stop the video here. But you can go check out link number 3.